Welcome. So, I am live on a couple different platforms right now, and I really just want to talk about this because I was listening into a panel and they're talking about, how do we create change in the community? This is a great topic, and a lot of people were chiming in, giving their opinions. And a lot of opinions are pretty much kind of like the same thing. Oh, we create change by owning our own businesses and, helping out in the community. And I can definitely understand that. So I am on live on Instagram and on Bigo and probably be on Facebook, but I will be uploading these to my YouTube so that it can spark whoever needs to hear it. All the information that we need to know is within us already. We are here to be reminded of that through our reflections and through our environment, the symbols in our environment. So when you look at me and you listen to me, whatever clicks is something that was already supposed to click within you. It's something that's already in you. I'm just reminding you of that. So a lot of people, are talking about, how we make change in our community is by going and working and buying up land and buying up material things, passing that down to our children, and that's going to bring change. A lot of things you see right now is, own a business. Black-owned businesses support each other, which is a great concept. I want to just remind you of histories, people's stories from history that will kind of tell us a little bit more in depth about like the mentalities that we come from. The thing I wanted to say on this panel was I wanted to educate people about epigenetics and understanding that we are made up of cells, trillions of cells, and what tells our cells what to do is our mind. Everything comes from a thought. And this is something very important to realize so that you can control your thoughts, which is going to control your reality. So basically, epigenetics is showing you that you can't vibrate higher than your surroundings. So when we're growing up into America, where it's mostly a monogamous household, most people don't have a village or a tribe. Most people are being programmed by society, by our media, by our music, our movies, by our school systems, and by the streets mentality. And we're not understanding who we are. That's why it's very important to know thyself. And basically, what I want to say is that epigenetics is a science that shows you that your cells can't vibrate higher than its surroundings. So once you start to think outside of the box that we are placed in, that's when your environment will then change. If you're not able, PCC, if you're not able to think outside of the box that you're placed in, then you will only vibrate in that surrounding. Okay? So I want, hey, so I want everyone to realize that your thoughts are very, very important. And I want you to always keep a healthy perspective in life because that's how you vibrate higher. That's how you get out of certain surroundings and certain environments. Okay? So, the thing is, a lot of people when they get down, they stay down. They start to focus on the negative, and this is called manifestation. Whatever you focus on is what you're manifesting into your life, into your reality. So if you're focused on the negative when you get in a bad place, then what you're doing is basically like you're praying for negative things because this is where your focus is. We have to understand, and this is why I preach that we are all gods, because maybe you don't understand that you are a God, but we are gods in the sense that we create our reality. We are the ones that project ourselves into this reality. So I want you to just think deeper in life and and ask questions. Ask your reality questions. Hey from Austin, Texas. Yes, I'm on live on Instagram and on Bigo right now. So, you know, um, that conversation we had last night. It was a great conversation. I did upload it to my YouTube, but the audio is kind of low, so you got to turn it up a little bit. But it's a good conversation on polygamy, and this I want to just build on this because there was a panel I was just on, and they were actually speaking on different ways that they think that the we can change our community. And a lot of people are not looking into the science of things, the study of nature, studying the cult or the culture or the government that is controlling us, that has conquered and controlled this land and these people through epigenetics and through programming us in our own environment. So, and I want you to realize that your thoughts manifest into reality. So if you ever get into a negative space, you have to come up with a healthier perspective, and you have to focus on what you're grateful for. You have to focus on these things in order to come up out that space. If you do not, you will be a kind of like a victim. I don't like to use that word, but you will be kind of like a victim to your environment. So I want you to understand that the reason why people are putting action into some dumb shit, is because they've been programmed to think that way. So, so that goes with epigenetics. I know a lot of people on that panel was saying, oh, a lot of black people are, they choose to do dumb shit. They choose to be in gangs. They choose to go and rob and steal, and they choose to do all this stupid shit. Oh, you should go get a real job. They were saying these things in this panel, which I understand. I'm a very open-minded person, and I can understand a lot of mindsets, though I have my own. So I'm going to always talk my truth and what I believe to be true. And I always feel like I'm right in a lot of things. So basically, they'll say that, but they're not understanding the science and the psychology behind what we have been programmed to do throughout our generations. And we are here to ascend. We are here to be the better version of ourselves. And this means to understand thyself, to know thyself in order to give ourselves the best. Okay? So, I want to say that in order to change the community, or in order to uplift the community, we have to change the mentality. And I want to go a little bit deeper into history, something that I was so obsessed with before I came into knowledge of self, into spirituality. It is the 1920s, all the way up until the 1960s, until they created a plan to be able to bring us more into the system, into their cult. Right? Because the government, they wanted to separate. And they wanted black people to just go do your own thing. We building our shit. This is what they were saying. And certain black people, yes, they stayed and they worked for white corporations, and they, brought money back. But majority of the black people was able to help each other and build actual communities, something we don't have too much of today. And if you look into Africa, they're going to be called tribes, villages. And that goes into a government. And if you look in Africa, they have multiple governments. And this is because there is a village. Don't get frustrated one day. This is because there is a mentality of way of life that governs that specific cult or culture, way of life. So when we look into that, we have to understand that that is the way that we have to go. And we have to know that right now, the government that we are under has programmed us to think a certain way. So when we realize that, we have to figure out, like, what is true to ourselves? What is our truths? What is reality? What is our science? What is that? We have to look into that. And we have to understand, like, what was here before that. So back to the history. This is something like, when you read history books, I want you to know this is the age of information. So there's so much information being thrown at us right now. And with that, we can take on information that's not conducive to our reality, that's not conducive to help us ascend to our higher being. So we have to use discernment when we're studying history. See, we have been programmed, and this is another way that we've been programmed through epigenetics. Example would be the church, to be able to say, well, if this person, they think, they sound like they know more than me based on the westernized language. You use big words and you sound like you know more than me. So I'm just going to surrender to what you're saying and believe that everything you're saying is truth, when this is not always true. Your truth lies within you. So you always have to ask yourself and continuously ask yourself. I know when you think you're praying, you might think you're praying to some God in the sky that is going, that when things come your way, your blessings come. You think, oh, thank you, God. But understanding that what manifestation is basically the same thing as praying. When you focus on something and you ask your universe for something, it's going to send you what you need. Okay? So when you think, oh, it didn't answer my prayers, that's because there's something in your reality that you have to overcome before you're able to get what you want in life and what you truly need in life. So back to the history lesson. It's basically like in the 1920s, I would say, and probably even before that, up until the 1960s, to where they said, well, I'm going to give them what they want. They keep putting pacifiers in your mouth. Once you start complaining, oh, I want this, I want that, I want, now we're talking about reparations. They're going to put a pacifier in your mouth. They don't give a fuck about reparations. If you understand the system, America is a business. And when you understand the business for what it is, you understand currency, then you'll realize that the banks own everything and the banks don't give a fuck about the money. They care about your energy. They care about you powering that system in order to keep it going so they can keep control. Okay? So that's when you look deeper into that. So I want to tell you that, reparations, I believe reparations going to come. Keep complaining. It's going to come to you. But know that, and people complain, I want to be paid more. You have to understand the system. This is a monopoly game. When you understand that, you'll say, oh, the government going to give you $20 an hour, but all they're going to do is raise prices for everything else. So that's going to have your future generations coming back to say, you know what, I want this and I want that. It's going to be a cycle, a repeated pattern that's going to keep people coming back to asking for more, because it's not going to be enough until you get your mind together, until you know thyself, until you start to understand what money is. Money is only powerful because we give it power. And what you should understand is, at its core, money is your energy. So whatever energy you're putting out into the world is going to be reciprocated back to you. And you have to understand, if there was no money in this world, how would we survive? We would survive off of each other. If you ever been around someone and you've been like, well, the energy, the vibes are so good that you forget to eat, because you can feed off of other people's energies. We eat 3 meals or more a day. You don't really need that much food. You have to understand what food is as well. It's information, and it does sustain us. But the food that we eat is coming from what? The sun. It's coming from nature. That's why we say study nature, understand nature, because that is what sustains us. Okay, the working the job every day and using all your energy for the system is not something that sustains you. We are here to live, not only survive, but to live. So I want to let me get to the point as far as 1920s. Like, there was actual communities that most people did not work for the white man because the white man was not trying to hire you. Okay, what happened was they people used each other's energy. They helped each other as a village type setting, as a tribe. They helped each other, and that's what sustained them. The only reason you started looking at other people and asking questions, because you started looking at what other people may have. You started being victims of the physical instead of understanding the energy behind things. So a lot of people would be like, well, my kid has to go to this black school. The black school might just be a house in the neighborhood where all the kids go to and learn about real life shit. But they'll look at the white kids and they'll be like, well, the white kids get to ride the best school bus. They get to look at their school. It's so much better. And you're not realizing that what glitters is not always gold. And that means that this is another analogy, is like when you see an apple that is shiny and versus the apple that's real, the apple that's shiny, that don't have no substance in it, that's GMO, versus the apple that has seeds that give you real information, that really sustains you, that's organic. You choose the one that's shiny basis the one that really is giving you the information. Those black owned schools back in the day that wasn't a part of the government, that taught what they knew, they were more able to sustain you. They was giving you more valuable information, real life information. So if you went to school, I dropped out in 9th grade because they wasn't teaching me what I felt like I needed to be taught. So I want you to understand, we have to look deeper than the surface. And So that's what happened. And for the solution, we have to go back to tribal living. We have to go back to communities, okay? And we have to know that the cults, the government that we are under, we have to study it. I know a lot of black people don't want to study it and don't want to understand it for what it is. But you rather complain about, oh, this and that, this and that, this and that. Stop complaining and take responsibility for yourself. What the fuck can you do to be the best version of yourself instead of looking at somebody else, asking for somebody else to do something for you? What can you do? And what you can do is collect the people that think like you. Collect the people that is on the same type of mission. Because we have been programmed throughout generations that this is going to take time to be able to heal from these things, not only individually, but as a group. We have to be able to take that time to heal. So what that means is first you have to understand yourself and heal from the psychological programming that you've been put under. Then you have to look at your environment, your parents and their parents. You have to study the energy. You have to look at things beyond the surface. And when it comes to community, when it comes to healing the black community, you have to understand, for another thing, you have to understand the government and how it operates and how it is controlling you. And you have to understand money, currency. This is the thing that is fueling this government. Is this illusion of money through the paper dollar or a number on a screen. So once you understand what currency truly is, you'll know that you can take your own motherfucking energies and mix it with other people in your environment that think like you, and you can survive like that. You have to be able to really study yourself and study this business that we call America, and figure out how is it, because we all work for it. If you're working for money, you're giving your energy to money. You have to understand, whatever job you think you work at, that job is owned by the bank, which is the government. So when you understand that, you have to be able to look like, is this who I want to serve? Do I really agree with my government and how my government is leading the people? So I want you to understand that we are going back to tribal living, okay? And this means that it's the age of Aquarius. It means the age of information, age of knowledge, and the age of groups. So I know a lot of times we look at our family, like, people have been programmed to the group of America. But when we look at things, we have to say, like, well, if this person, and I learned this when I went into business, not through spirituality. I learned this when I went into business. When you get into business, owning your own business, and nowadays a lot of people want to do it. But when I was doing it, was back in the day. Like, I'm like, own your own business, own your own business. A lot of people be like, no, you need to get a real job. A lot of family members wouldn't support you. Strangers will support you more than the people that you know. And this is because they're not on the same motherfucking mentality as you. So when you understand, like, mentality, how you think, is very important, as well as knowledge of self, then what you will do is gravitate and attract people that think like you. And these are the people that you have in your community. Okay? So that's what I want you to look into. I want you to look into how money is controlling your life. I want you to look into, knowledge of self, knowing who you are. Peace, bad boy, peace, breeze. And I want you to figure out, like, ask your universe questions. Like, how can I be the best that I can be? Like, I know that majority of our so-called black leaders today are like, they're like, oh, we just gotta get our reparations, and we gotta, just have black-owned businesses and stuff like that. But you have to know, is this government that we are serving, is this government actually a government that is for us? Or not? And whatever government you serve, you are giving them power. It's like you are a battery. And I won't go into melanin. Everybody has melanin. I won't go into melanin being the source of energy. But I'm going to let you know that, and I'll probably do that another time, because really today I was talking about relationships and stuff, but this panel sparked me. So it's like, I'm going to let you know that whatever system you are powering, which is the government, the way of life, what governs you, you have to figure out, is this righteous? Is this righteous? Is this leading my people to the right path or not? So once you figure that out, in my experience, I don't believe it, but I am a rebellion. I am a rebellion. I am a revolutionary, and I'm here to create change. So I am a person that will sacrifice certain things in order to make change. That's just me. So so my thing is, I would say look into the best environment for you. For one, you have to start with knowledge of self. Then you have to go into your environment. Your environment is just not the setting, it's the people around you, the food that you intake, anything that you're in constant communication with. And I'm not talking about verbal words. I'm talking about whatever you connect with. Everything in your environment is a symbol to tell you something about yourself. So when you look into that, you have to understand, like, is this best for me? Is this giving me high vibrations or low vibrations? So when you understand that, I want you to just think a little deeper, like think a little deeper. And I feel like there's certain things that I want to say, but peace, Jan, certain things that I want to say that I'm just like, okay, because this is not the topic I was going to speak on today, but it's something that is important. So I'm here to make you think deeper. I'm not here to tell you what to do. You don't have to listen to me. I'm going to do what I feel is best, right? But if it's something that I said spark you, all I ask you to do is look deeper than the surface. Don't take my word for it. You look deeper. You start studying, okay? There's people out here that's not going to get it, that's not going to hear nothing, right? Because that's something that's in their programming. But there's other people out here that's asking the universe for questions. You have to understand the universe answers you in symbols. So sometimes the symbol is a video that you come across. Sometimes a symbol is a thought. Sometimes a symbol is the things that's in your reality that's showing you, should I be here or should I not be here? Okay? When you wake up and you go to your job every day, your body or your mind's telling you you don't want to go, then that's a symbol that you're not supposed to be doing that motherfucking job. You need to be able to figure something else out. If you have a problem, find a solution. So, I'm going to put this on YouTube. It's, an important thing. Peace. It's something that I think everybody needs to hear and at least have an open mind to it and figure out, is this best for you? Because we have so many distractions. See, America is going to give you distractions. They're going to give you so many distractions. If you ever go to any other country, you will see that they are more family oriented. They are more in tune with nature, and they are just more free. They're more free. But if you look into America and you just look into the media, you look into the news, you look into the things that they are constantly putting at us. I'm thankful, Vani. And you will see that it's something else in there. Like, come on now, they are distracting you. They're continuously sending distractions at you. Okay, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to start this live over because and then I'll come up and talk to anybody that wants to talk. Okay, because I'm about to add this to YouTube, and then if you want to build on this conversation, we can build. Because I feel like that's what we need to do, and that's what I was listening to before this was sparked more for me to talk about this stuff. So I'm going to end this live, and I'll start a new one if you want to build.